Respect is not a gift, it is a bill. You don't earn it by asking nicely, by stacking disclaimers, by explaining your good heart. In every room that matters, people respect what costs them something: time to prepare, care to show up, consequences if they don't. The rest is theater. You are not there to be admired, you are there to be priced. Price before plea. Picture 3 fast scenes. In the first, you ask a team to please be on time. They nod, arrive late, and offer charming reasons. In the second, you post a rule. Doors close at 10:05. Late arrivals wait for the next block. No speeches, no sarcasm. The clock becomes the enforcer, not your tone. In the third, a client insists on one more revision for the same fee. You do not protest your effort. You change the invoice and the deadline. New scope, new price, new date. The negotiation ends because the meter started. Respect arrives when the cost is visible. Pleading invites performance. Pricing invites compliance. Stop chasing permission with personality. Predictability beats charisma. A smiling face with shifting lines teaches the room to push until you bend. A calm face with steady rules teaches the room to prepare. Define your standards so clearly they can be obeyed by strangers. Agendas required. Pre-reads 24 hours in advance. One reminder only. Scope changes, move dates, public praise, private correction. Then keep them when you are tired, when you are flattered, when you are under pressure. Consistency is the fear Machiavelli meant, the cool fear of known consequence, not the hot fear of rage. People will say you've grown cold, you have grown legible. They can now trust your eyes because you do not survive the weather. Understand the market beneath the manners. Every tease, delay, and quick ask is a price check. A colleague drops, "Do you have a second?" A probe for free labor. A date replies, "Maybe," a probe for patience without investment. A family member says, "You owe us time," a probe for guilt-based credit. If you answer with a biography, why you're busy, what you meant, how you feel, you feed the negotiation with your life. If you answer with terms 10 minutes at 4, confirm by noon, Sunday between 3 and 5, you feed it with structure. The first path spends you, the second spends them. Field-tested, not theorized. These are battlefield rules, proven where reputation is currency. In meetings, frame the decision in one breath and put a clock on it. In negotiations, offer 2 options with visible costs and let silence weigh the choice. In relationships, 1 invitation, 1 reminder, then distance. In teams, broadcast wins with names attached. Correct offstage with policy, not mood. In all of it, document. Respect follows records, not memories. You are building a paper spine so your courage does not have to shout. What you think is kindness is often unpriced labor. What you call transparency is often a map for exploitation. What you label flexibility is often the sale of your standards for a smile. Trade them for rules. Be warm at the door and firm at the gate. Write short. Decide cleanly. Enforce quietly. If someone calls you difficult, ask yourself, difficult to who? Those who plan or those who coast? Respect is not applause. It is the absence of pushback when your policy moves. You will feel the itch to soften. Don't. Let the rules speak first. Let the clock back. Let the invoice seal it. Here is the shift. You do not argue for your dignity. You invoice for it. You do not wait for approval. You set terms that make approval unnecessary. You do not threaten. You schedule, you price, you proceed. Over weeks, rooms change. People bring you decisions, not drama. Over months, your name becomes shorthand for order. Over years, you are not introduced, you are expected. Respect is negotiated, not granted. Start the negotiation by posting your price. Short rules, steady costs, quiet enforcement. You keep thinking respect arrives with smiles, that trust blooms when you open all doors, that love proves itself when you bend. But power doesn't grade politeness, it prices leverage. People don't read your intentions, they read your structures. If the house has no thresholds, traffic becomes abusive. If every feeling is public, the map to your buttons circulates. If every plan flexes, standards evaporate. You are not disliked, you are disregarded, because your edges are invisible. Nice without terms is free labor. Compassion is a flame. Without a lantern, it burns you. Unpriced kindness becomes infrastructure useful, unseen, underpaid. You answer every ping to be supportive, so your time becomes the emergency exit everyone uses when they forgot to plan. You help a little after hours, and last minute becomes the team's operating system. In the family, you don't mind driving, so your car turns into community transit. The pattern is quiet. You give without limits, others learn the route, and gratitude declines as dependence increases. This isn't malice, it's physics. Systems follow the lowest resistance, separate warmth from weakness, pair every yes with a frame. I can give 30 minutes tomorrow at 2. 2 revisions, then scope review. Saturday 10:12 for errands. After that, next week. Notice the grammar. Time, quantity, consequence. That grammar converts kindness into policy. Suddenly, people prepare before asking. Suddenly, your help produces competence rather than appetite. Warmth remains, leakage ends. Those who loved you for free access will sulk. Those who respect you will adjust. Let the sulk leave. Transparency, as self-sabotage, dresses up as virtue. You overshare to look honest, to prevent suspicion, to keep the peace. You post your calendar, you narrate your mood, you send essays for context. What you really send is a blueprint. Now they know when to push, where to poke, how to guilt. A detailed apology becomes an instruction manual for future pressure. A public schedule becomes an invitation to just 5 minutes, 10 times a day. Transparency should reveal rules, not vulnerabilities, outcomes, not organs. Practice selective disclosure with posted rules. Share the policy, not the pulse. No meetings after 4. Decision by Friday, or we defer to the next sprint. Use the intake form. I don't process requests in chat. When someone asks why, resist the autobiography. Reasons are optional, results are required. If you must offer context, keep it short and structural, protecting deep work window, then return to execution. You will feel rude at first. That feeling is withdrawal from people-pleasing. Breathe. Clarity is kindness when it preserves the future. Flexibility theater is the warm mask that teaches others to test you. You bend because you care. You bend again because you fear loss. Now they bend you to check where you break. Open-ended favors convert standards into suggestions. Whenever works becomes never lands. No worries after chronic disrespect becomes welcome. People don't believe what you say, they believe what your calendar survives. If your boundary dissolves under pressure, pressure becomes the tool. Offer controlled options, withdraw the rest. 2 times you can happily honor, 2 scopes you can ship on time, 2 paths through the bridge you own. Thursday noon or Friday 9. Scope A now, Scope B next cycle. I can help tonight for 1 hour, or Saturday morning. Options preserve the other person's agency without selling your spine. The room relaxes because the adult is present. Generous, predictable, finite. The test fades because there is nothing to argue, only choices to make. Modern scenes make the stakes plain. Your manager says, "Quick deck by Monday," a soft phrase that swallows your weekend. Old you wrote a novel about burnout. New you answers, earliest Tuesday, Monday is locked to delivery and attaches the outline for sign-off. A date texts at 11:38 p.m. You up? Old you performs spontaneity to feel valuable. New you guards sleep and propose Wednesday at 6. A sibling sends urgent tasks that mysteriously repeat. Old you rushes. New you consolidate requests into a weekly block. Anything outside it rolls. Suddenly, other adults appear because you stopped being the endless cushion beneath them. The psychology underneath is simple. Niceness seeks to be chosen. Transparency seeks to be believed. Flexibility seeks to be kept. But adults are not kept by pleading. They are kept by structure. Jung would say, the persona wants approval, the shadow wants lines. Individuation is their marriage. Warm face, firm frame. When you enforce the frame, your warmth stops dissolving into fog and starts traveling like a river, inside banks, visible, useful, strong. Expect blowback. People who love your soft edges will call your edges cold. They are not wrong from their point of view. The fog cleared and a coastline emerged. Keep the coastline. Explain once, calmly, when it serves the relationship. Otherwise, let the pattern teach. Patterns teach better than speeches. Silence combined with consequence is the cleanest language your nervous system can speak. Tactics for the next 7 days. Write 3 one-line policies for your leakiest zones: time, money, favors, and keep them even when guilt bites. Move quick chats into a single document with owners and deadlines. Refuse meetings without a question to decide. Post 2 response windows and hold to them like prayer. Put your health, deep work, and sanctuary windows on the calendar as if they were the CEO's meetings, because they are. Tie every help to visibility. Your name on the artifact, your task in the tracker, your end date in writing. You didn't lose respect because you were kind. You lost it because your kindness had no price. You weren't distrusted for being honest. You were mined for oversharing. You weren't unloved for caring. You were exhausted for performing care without terms. End the performance. Keep the love. Bind it with law. Then watch how fast the room reorganizes. Fewer tests, cleaner asks, shorter meetings, steadier eyes when they look at you. They are not admiring your anger. They are recognizing your shape. Let your calendar carry your character. Let your rules carry your truth. Let your absence raise your price and your presence seal it. Be warm with edges, clear without diaries, and generous on schedule. You teach people to ignore you one soft answer at a time. You think you are being kind. You are showing the room how to walk past your voice and collect your labor on the way out. Approval hunger shakes your hand. Conflict anxiety holds the door. Status insecurity writes the lesson plan. The shadow smiles. A quiet room is easy to rule. As a child, you learned a rule. Be liked to be safe. You became the early volunteer, the fast apologizer, the fixer who could calm a room before the grown-ups saw the storm. Praise arrived when you smoothed the edges. Chill arrived when you held your ground. The body kept score. Years later, your calendar still runs that math. You draft soft deadlines to avoid sounding harsh, say yes to favors that steal sleep, and soften strong sentences until they turn to fog. Offer cool empathy to that protector. It saved you when power lived elsewhere. But the reflex now spends you without asking. In meetings, you add disclaimers that turn decisions into suggestions. With family, you cushion truths until no one can find them. On dates, you grant access to people who earned only an exit. The pattern is simple. You over-explain, over-offer, then chase your own words to make them real. The world learns you are negotiable. Negotiable becomes invisible. Catch the reflex in the first 3 seconds. When you feel the urge to preface your point with softness, drop the cushions. Say the point once, cleanly. then hold the silence without offering a discount. Your body will ring alarms. You are rude, you are risky, you will be left. Breathe until the sirens turn to rain. Most rooms can carry a pause. Longing then distorts your reading of people. You relabel disrespect as confusion because confusion is easier to forgive. A partner ignores messages and you call it busy. A colleague takes credit and you call it mixed signals. A friend appears only when they need to and you call it a rough season. Hope edits the footage. Meanwhile, the pattern broadcasts in daylight. Install behavior-first interpretation. Words are promises. Behavior is proof. Track who initiates without chase, who keeps time without rescue, who repairs harm without poetry. When behavior and words duel, side with behavior. If someone repeatedly breaks your terms, stop translating and start pricing. This misses the standard. I won't continue under it. That sentence is a door. Walk through it. You also teach people to ignore you by teaching them that your time is cheap. Status insecurity prints an invisible invoice in your chest. You sense a debt less cool, less central, and start paying interest. Interest is extra time, favors, and apologies. You stay late to be a team player. You write long messages to prevent imaginary anger. You add freebies no one earned, thinking generosity will buy memory. It buys expectation. Switch to a market ledger. 2 columns, cost and return. The cost is hours, energy, money, peace. Return is reciprocity, reliability, respect. Log the quick call that became unpaid consulting, the tiny tweak that reopened a project, the gentle nudge you sent for the 3rd time. If returns are thin, end the subsidy. Replace extra with exact. Here is what I can deliver by Thursday. Late changes move to the next sprint. Silence is a no. Prices teach attention. Modern life tempts drift. Feeds reward people who never risk being plain. Applause is weather. Alignment is architecture. Choose architecture. Write definitions of done. Publish response windows. Require agendas for meetings that want your morning. People who respect you will adapt. People who use you will complain. Complaint is a compass pointing to where you subsidized chaos. Practice the counter-move in small moments. When a colleague drops a vague thoughts on a Friday night, reply Monday during your window. List decisions needed. I'll weigh in at 2. When a date resurfaces with charm after vanishing, answer with policy, not poetry. I prefer consistency. I'll pass. When a friend invites you as the reliable last-minute fix, offer structure. I can help next week with notice. The first time will feel like standing on a cliff. The ground appears when you do it again. Your explanations are bait for your own trap. The more you explain, the more you signal that your no is maybe with enough pressure. Predators and procrastinators hear the same thing. Keep pushing. Simplify. No. Yes, by Friday. That won't work. Here is what will. Every extra paragraph is a coupon someone will try to redeem. Stop printing coupons. Under this training is grief. You wanted kindness to be enough. You wanted the world to read your heart and reward effort. But politics runs on incentives, not intentions. If you reward delay with access, you get delay. If you reward neglect with warmth, you get neglect. If you reward disrespect with explanations, you get a seminar on how to continue. Governance follows budgets. Change your budget. Fund clarity. Fund reciprocity. Defund hope that costs your dignity. If you relapse, and you will repair without ceremony. I overoffered. Here is the correct scope. I explained too much. The answer is no. I labeled disrespect as confusion. I'm stepping back. No biography. No self-trial. Just a new invoice with fair numbers. Each repair teaches your nervous system that boundaries are not betrayals. They are maintenance. You can be warm and hard to move, generous and priced, available and not on call. The right people will hear your clean edges as safety. The wrong ones will hear them as hunger leaving the room. Let them be hungry somewhere else. Your job is not to feed appetites that grow on your self-erasure. Your job is to be legible to allies who want the work, the friendship, the love that thrives inside clear lines. Return to the classroom you were running without knowing. Erase the old lesson. Be liked to be safe. Write a new one. Be clear to be respected. Teach it by example. Say less, sooner. Set terms, once. Enforce gently, fast. Do not grade your worth by who claps. Grade your life by what moves and stays moved. You do not have to shout to be heard. You have to stop apologizing for speaking. When you do, the volume of your voice does not rise, its weight does. People feel it in their plans. They rearrange. The ones who refuse slide to the margins where your silence used to sit. That is not cruelty. That is the geometry of dignity. Clarity first, price second, peace follows. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. You enter the room with reasons like candles, and the air replies with wind. You think more light will tame the draught, so you light another until wax pools at your feet. The more you explain, the more they negotiate. Each paragraph widens the aisle they walk down to reach your price. Quick cuts. A long email at 12:43 a.m. Subject line, pleading clarity. Body stacked with receipts. A Slack essay the next morning. Context, nuance. A history no one asked to carry. One more favor slips through midday. A quick change, a tiny extension, a promise you don't have the hours to honor. A public correction lands during the stand-up. You nod, smile, clarify, add work you didn't plan. You are building a case while they are building leverage. Your defense becomes their menu. Watch your body as the spiral tightens. Shoulders bend forward, a shield made of flesh. Jaw clenches, words turn to sawdust. In Jung's terms, an anxious complex has seized the tongue. It believes explanation is armor, and speed is safety. The persona, the agreeable mask, waves people in. The shadow, the part that hates being used, keeps the ledger in the dark. You give access in daylight and grow resentment at night. This is the math of over-explaining. Answers beget arguments. Arguments beget adjustments. Adjustments beget more asks. You deliver a deck to end debate. Debate expands to fit the deck. You show the fine print. Someone circles a line and says, just this. The more you justify, the more negotiable you appear. Because justification signals jurisdiction, you accept their court. Judges do not ask to be believed. They issue terms. Defendants explain. Cold realism. Public memory is pattern, not reason. People won't reread your pages. They will remember how easily your boundaries bent. A manager won't recall paragraph 4. She will recall that your final version had 3 more versions after the last final. A client won't remember the constraints. They will remember the discount that arrived when they sighed. Colleagues won't recall the nuance. They will remember that one silence moved you. Habits brand faster than any brilliant sentence. Screenshots outrun context. Threads become shorthand. Hold the pause and they'll add more. Ping late, they'll reply. Push scope in public, they won't resist. You thought you were earning trust. You trained a room to treat your attention like an open tab. Even kind people will spend a tab that never closes. Meanwhile, the self fractures. Publicly, you comply with a smile, your persona bright. Privately, you rage in the mirror and resent the names. On your phone, you become two, the host who brings extra chairs and the ghost who leaves his own seat empty. Individuation stalls. You are not choosing, you are reacting, a weather vane dressed like a lighthouse. Return to the image, the courtroom you keep entering. You present exhibits, they present bargaining chips. Stop volunteering to stand trial. Rebuild identity around standard. not plea law before biography, terms before tenderness. Jung's work points you inward. Integrate the part that fears exile with the part that can bear it. When you can sit with the tremor without paying it with a paragraph, your price hardens to the truth of your value. Begin with a small constitution, 1 line per law, memorized in the body. Law 1. One message, clear offer, expiry. Here is the scope and date. The offer is held until Friday at 5. Law 2. No upgrades without reciprocity. Add A or B. Both require moving C, or increasing time and price. Law 3. Public corrections route to private rooms. You do not accept cross-examination on stage. You move the matter to a table where dignity breathes. Build a ritual that interrupts the spiral. When you feel the pull to explain, perform 3 acts before you speak. First, breathe 10 slow counts so the complex cannot drive. Second, name the decision and the 2 viable options so explanation has walls. Third, state the rule that chooses, a metric, a date, a threshold. Only then add 1 sentence of context, if needed. Your words become architecture, not rain. Translate care into criteria. Instead of, for transparency, say, green if defect is less than 1%, rollback otherwise. Instead of, we can consider, say, we choose X now. I moves to Q3. Instead of happy to clarify, say, decision now, memo attached. Documentation remains, but it follows judgment. It does not replace it. Judges sign, clerks file. Protect timing like a crown. Timing brands deeper than content because time is how people experience you. Reply in daylight with a spine. Let midnight belong to gravity and sleep. Attach clocks to your yes. Announce price changes in advance so you are a calendar, not a mood. When you slip, declare it and pay your own penalty before anyone asks. Practice in cheap arenas. In chat, replace essays with 1 line that moves a block. In meetings, replace 1 more sync with decision by 2. Threshold for reversal is X. With friends, replace I'll try with I'm free Saturday between 2 and 5. You are not colder, you are coherent. Coherence makes warmth safe to touch. Expect protest. Systems formed around your softness will bruise when the pillows harden into posts. Some will pout, some will test the gates with public nudges. Do not relapse into speeches. Repeat the law. Move the matter private. If the pattern persists, price the behavior. Tend the inner repair. The shadow that flinches at distance will knock. Seat it beside you. Let it warn, not steer. Feed the adult self with small kept promises. Sleep on time. Ship 1 meaningful block. Say 1 clean no. Keep 1 boundary when no one is watching. Over weeks, your nervous system learns that silence isn't a sentence, and explanation isn't oxygen. Watch your label change. Safe to push gives way to clear terms, steady pace. Rooms begin to negotiate with the work instead of with your nervous system. Corrections happen in small private circles where growth is cheap. Scope sits in documents with signatures, not in DMs at midnight. Your sentences grow shorter and heavier. People lean in when you speak because iron has returned to your mouth. You will still explain, but after you decide. You will still help, but inside capacity you can defend. You will still be generous, but generosity will be structured so it survives. The archetypes in you, host and sovereign, will stop fighting and start sharing a table. The host greets, the sovereign governs, the shadow stands guard. Decide first, speak once, hold. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. You kept staging morality plays good person versus bad world, while the world ran on statecraft. Respect never arrives because you deserve it. It appears when you define terms, show teeth, and set the tempo. You stop begging the weather and begin governing the climate. Terms tell people what the road is. Teeth keep the road clear. Tempo moves the caravan before panic writes the plan. From feelings to statutes, values are fog until they become posted rules anyone can read under stress. Response windows. Non-urgent messages answered in 2 blocks a day. Strategic matters within 72 hours. True emergencies by phone only. Meeting gates. 30 minutes by default. 60 only with agenda and pre-reads. No document, no gathering. 1 reminder policy. You invite once, you remind once, then you withdraw. Put the scoreboard where eyes can see it. Calendar notes, status lines, auto replies. When the room attempts a sprint of emotion, you point to the law and keep the clock steady. This is not cruelty. It is traffic control for the nation of your future. Picture the midnight ping. You up? Old, you paid in sleep to rent approval. Statute your answers at 9. Mornings work free, 12:31. A colleague proposes a 5-person sync with no brief. The gate replies, share the 2-pager. Comment async. If needed, we meet for 30 with decisions listed. A date cancels twice with glittering reasons. The law says, when ready, propose a day, time, place. No proposal, no crossing. You did not become harder. You became legible. Legibility is how power prevents ambush. From applicant to arbiter. Applicants perform, arbiters qualify. You move from proving worth to testing fit with criteria that do not wake up groggy. Effort. Do they carry half the weight? Specific questions. Concrete plans. Clear next steps. Reliability. Do they keep small promises without policing? Values. Do they respect windows? Accept, no, repair within 24 hours after harm. Red flags are posted in plain language. Love bombing without scheduling, chronic rescheduling, labels in conflict, secrecy about basics, appetite for your attention with allergy to your standards. You do not debate red flags, you record them and adjust access. Practice the posture. In sales, the prospect begs for one more call before signing. Arbiter, you answers. Agreement and deposit unlock deep dive. In family, a relative thrives on last-minute storms. You narrow their lane. Fewer same-day decisions. Written plans with cut-offs. In romance, nostalgia arrives without logistics. You respond, if you want to meet, propose a day and a place. Silence is not an insult, it is a scan. When nothing lands, you close the file. Selection is procedure, not personal judgment on anyone's soul. Arbiters also set auditions others must pass before they reach you. Office hours instead of endless texting. Demo days instead of scattered pitches. A standing agenda that forces ideas to fit the road. Problem, stakes, choice, cost. The unserious self-select out. The train arrives prepared because the gate will not wait. Your worth stops being a plea and becomes a standard. From debate to process, arguments are street theater, process is the courthouse. You end the spiral by following rules you published before feelings rose. No agenda by noon, meeting auto-cancels. Missed deadline without notice. Scope narrows and buffer increases next sprint. Late-night conflict after gates close. Reply during office hours. If someone throws labels needy, cold, controlling, you do not enter that court. You restate jurisdiction. We don't use labels. Terms on the table are timing, commitments, next steps. Teeth are not volume. Teeth are predictable consequences that fire without ceremony. Deliver enforcement like parking signs, same rule, same ticket, no sermon. A client stretches scope again. You send the change order. A teammate spams DMs during focus block. You mute and post the schedule once. A friend weaponizes guilt because your boundary holds. You paste the policy and exit. The signal spreads. Pushing you is expensive. Cooperating is cheap. Tests end not from revelation, but from math. Tempo is the crown. 2 clocks run in every decision, the talk clock and the close clock. When the talk clock ends, summarization begins. When the close clock ends, you choose or revert to the last stable plan. People will call this haste. It is mercy. Indecision bleeds morale. Closure feeds it. In product, you lock the Friday cut. Slips move to patch, not to purgatory. In the group chat, you set a vote by tonight, book tomorrow, or the trip shifts a month. In dating, you offer 2 times with a cutoff. No answer, no chase. Pace turns respect from a wish into a reflex. The room edits itself because your drum does not wait for wandering feet. Examples make the law breathe. Your mornings once shattered under pings. Now you touch messages at 9:30 and 4:30. Then build. Your team once argued inside clouds. Now every initiative crosses a gate owner, metric, date, or waits outside. Your circle once celebrated intensity. Now you celebrate follow-through. The friend who schedules and confirms. The colleague who repairs in a day. The partner who keeps the rhythm. Rooms reprice you because you priced yourself and kept the receipt. You will feel the old urge, make exceptions. Soften the guard. Explain the policy until the wolf walks through. Write exceptions like pardons, rare, specific, recorded, so they do not become precedent. Mercy is your choice, not their leverage. Confidence is not a spike of mood. It is the same answer in sun and storm. Define the terms. Keep the teeth dull in tone but sharp in effect. March to a tempo that turns panic into plan. Then watch what arrives. Fewer but better conversations. Slower but deeper. Bonds. Less theater and more governance. Respect will look like peace. Peace will feel like time. And love, when it comes, will not have to break the law to be felt. Terms make order. Teeth make order real. Tempo makes order move. Steel is polite when it is precise. You command respect by removing fog, not by adding thunder. 5 moves. Repeat them until your nervous system runs them without asking. They work in rooms with titles and in kitchens at midnight, on clients, dates, relatives, and friends. Step 1. Frame first, in one breath. 1 sentence names the decision and the criteria. We're choosing speed versus certainty by Friday. We're deciding the budget versus scope for Q4. Tonight is logistics, not history. Say it once, flat. When the room sprawls biography, grievance, flattery, you return to the breath. The point is borders. Clear frames stop arguments that eat hours and feed nothing. Step 2. Post terms before time. Minutes are not free. They buy clarity, or they buy regret. Require a brief for meetings, a scope for favors, and an anchor for dates. 2 questions and a decision owner, or we move the meeting. List your top 2 tasks. I'll give you 30 minutes Friday. Coffee wed 6. 20 for 20 minutes, near the bookstore. Post terms first and unserious requests evaporate. Serious ones sharpen. You are not harsher, you are procedural. Step 3. 2 options. Visible costs. Offer 2, maybe 3, never 9. Price each with a plain sentence. Ship the minimal version Friday and accept rollback risk, or slip 1 week for tests and accept market risk. 12-month vendor discount with lock-in, or month-to-month with agility. Close place at 7:30 for 90 minutes, or Saturday at 5 when we have longer. When trade-offs stand in daylight, dithering becomes expensive because delay finally has a number. Decisions speed up because truth finally has a price. Step 4. 1 reminder, then action. Nudge and once, then move. Confirm by noon. If noon passes, the slot closes. Arrive by 7:10. At 7:20, you leave and text later. Let's try next time. Scope is drifting. If it does not snap back, push changes to the next sprint. No second paragraph. No apology tour. Teeth without theater. People learn that indecision costs access, not your energy. Step 5. Praise publicly, correct privately. Amplify good behavior in the open. Exact action, exact effect. What Maya did well was cut load by 34% by removing the blocking call. Shout out to Leo for closing 3 interviews that unlocked the pilot. In private, verify facts, state the breach, apply a proportional consequence, and set a review. You missed the handoff. You'll shadow 2 this week. We'll check Friday 9:20. Allies grow because wins are seen. Martyrs don't appear because correction is private. Now the scenario library repetition until automatic. Late clients. Frame. We're choosing scope versus date for Friday's release. Terms. Send the revised brief by 6 p.m. We decide at 9:10. Options. Keep scope A and ship Friday, or add B and move to the 28th. One reminder. Confirm by noon. When noon passes, act, proceeding with scope A. Praise publicly what worked. Your data cleanup enabled a faster deploy and correct one-to-one if a boundary was crossed. Flaky dates. Frame. We're choosing a time this week, or we skip. Terms. 2 options, WED 6:20 or SAT 4. Price. If plans keep moving, I'll pass for now. One reminder. Lock by noon. If fog stays, silence enforces and your week continues. Praise reciprocity. Thanks for the clean confirmation and keep the meeting short and on time. You are matching energy, not subsidizing it. Guilt-tripping relatives. Frame. This is about time, not love. Terms. I can help for 30 minutes Sunday. List your top 2 needs. Options. This week or next. Sunday. If neither, I'm out. One reminder. Please confirm by 6. If guilt arrives instead, act. We'll aim next week. Praise publicly at dinner. Uncle's planning made Sunday smooth while private corrections handle boundary crossings. Team politics. Frame. We're choosing reliability versus features this sprint. Terms. 2 agenda items and a decision owner, then we meet. Options. Freeze and stabilize, or ship 3 small features with known error risk. One reminder, decision at 10:20. At 10:21, choose, name owner, set review. Praise the crew in the channel, rollback time down 40%, and address missteps one-to-one. Meetings shrink because your yes is crisp and your no is simple. Workplace fire drill. Frame, we're choosing certainty versus price. Terms, send the deck, 2 questions and your decision by 4:30. Options, approve pilot now with guardrails or commission deeper study and delay a week. One reminder, then action. The room reads you as a senior because you respect time as policy. Keep a small language bank for heat. Not my premise. We're deciding between these options. Care is clarity. Policy stands. Locked. Train posture. Sit tall. Breathe slow. Eyes level. Speak last to harvest motives. Decide fast to deny doubt at a stage. Use receipts, not CC storms. Decision logs, brief notes, calm summaries. When uncertain, run the 5 steps like a hymn frame. Terms, options, action, praise, correct. Why this works? It replaces mood with law. It does not require you to be loud. It requires you to be on time. Publish boundaries before they are tested. Price choices before feelings flood. Keep promises to the clock when others wobble. And make wins visible so effort becomes contagious. People start timing themselves to you because your endings arrive on schedule and your beginnings start with a map. You will hear accusations. You're cold. Translation, you stopped being free. you're rigid. Translation: I can no longer move you with fog. You're controlling. Translation: you defined the arena, so my tricks lost oxygen. Smile once. Return to the steps. The right people adapt, the wrong people drift. You don't chase taste, you ship results. Run the playbook for a week and watch the physics change. Inboxes are quiet because blocks train them. Meetings end in verbs because terms precede time. Dates either arrive on time or vanish, and both outcomes help. Relatives respect the lane because you stayed loving and firm. Teams deliver because the room has a drummer, not a DJ. Your day stops feeling like sand and starts feeling like stone laid in a road. Keep the mantra close when storms return. First breath, frame, before minutes, terms. When choices appear, price them. After one nudge, act. Praise in daylight, correct in shadow. Repeat until it feels like walking. Authority is nothing mystical. It is a schedule that holds and a voice that closes loops. The shadow that once needed approval rests because your method keeps the promise you made to your future. Frame first, price choices, act once, and honor wins in daylight. Power that endures is rarely theatrical. It settles into procedure, speaks in deadlines, and governs with calm. When your 5 steps become culture, not a speech, a culture room stops testing you. Choices speed up. Your presence carries weight without volume, the way a city clock orders the day without shouting. Peace from predictability. You enforce the same way on Monday as on Friday, in victory and in embarrassment. Replies arrive in set windows. Meetings begin with purpose and end with owners and dates. One reschedule per plan, never a third. Vague requests are returned for specifics. Contempt closes the thread. Because enforcement is consistent, people stop guessing your temperature. Anxiety fades when the process is known. Truth becomes cheaper to tell because it is not auditioning for your mood. It is walking through a posted gate. You see it in ordinary scenes. A manager sends a foggy brief. Your culture returns a one-page template goal. Constraints, risks, owners, deadline, no meeting until it's complete. A client pushes a late discount with urgent in caps. Your rulebook offers 2 lawful options. Smaller scope now, full scope on the next slot. A date pings at midnight with mixed signals. Your rule protects sleep and answers at 10 with one clear invitation. Family drama tries to seize your morning. Your culture keeps morning sovereign. The tone stays warm but firm because you are not trading standards for harmony. Harmony follows standards. Freedom on both sides. Clear rules are doors, not cages. You publish how to engage, how to escalate, how to repair. Allies can step in cleanly or step out cleanly. No theater, no guilt invoices. You refuse hostage situations, no strings hidden in favors, no favors dressed as emergencies. In work it sounds like objections by noon, decision at 2. In love it sounds like here's my time and place. Join if it suits you. Either answer is information, not a wound. Authority feels humane when it preserves choice and prices time honestly. This generosity improves the water level. Juniors speak earlier because the landing is predictable. Seniors speak shorter because they trust the format to hear them once, not forever. Vendors bring tighter proposals because delay has a cost. Even exits are cleaner. The standard is posted, the miss is measured, the close is private and final. You do not need enemies, you need filters. The rules are the filters. They screen for people who can breathe where clarity is oxygen, compounding legitimacy. Keep the 5 steps visible and enforced for months, and your name becomes a schedule. Your yes is deliverable, your no is terminal, and your maybe is brief. Teams plan around your cadence because it is real. Politics starve because outcomes arrive faster than rumors. Meetings shrink Documents sharpen, messages shorten while their weight increases. You do fewer things with more finish, and finish is the loudest argument in any market. Prices drift upward, not because you demand them, but because you will not chase them to the bottom. Respect compounds the way interest does, quietly, then obviously. This is not rigidity, it is rhythm. Storms still visit, but your culture holds, then reopens the port. You forgive quickly, you forget slowly, and you track patterns. You reward early truth and penalize late chaos. You prefer a clean no that saves a week to a flattering maybe that wastes one. You are selective without bitterness, generous without naivety, and calm without softness. The effect is simple and unmistakable. Rooms settle when you arrive, because your presence predicts an outcome. Write the 5 steps, post them where everyone can see, enforce them gently, every time. Invite what fits, release what doesn't. Let procedure carry half your power so your voice can carry the rest. After a season of this, your life will not need a campaign. It will govern itself by the quiet authority of what it does on schedule. Quiet rules, loud results.